Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Copilot Control System Digital Deep Dive. Thank you for making time to join us today. My name is F.A. Bugo, and I am a Senior Product Marketing Manager on the Copilot Control System team. And I am excited to be your host for the next 2 days as we explore the Copilot Control System, a framework designed to help you secure data, manage Copilot and agent experiences, and measure adoption and impact across your organization. Whether you're joining us live today or catching up on demand, this event is built to meet you all right where you are, whether you're just starting your Copilot journey or looking to scale with confidence. We've curated sessions that go deep into security and governance, agent lifecycle, management controls, measurement, and user enablement. You're going to hear from product marketing leaders, engineers, and adoption experts who are shaping the future of AI in the enterprise. Each session today is going to include practical guidance, real-world examples, and live AMAs to help you apply what you learn in real time. And throughout the event, we'll be sure to point you to resources, demos, and documentation so you can keep the momentum going within your organizations long after the sessions and the event wraps up. So get ready to take notes, ask questions, and most importantly, imagine what is possible when Copilot is deployed with clarity, control, and confidence. Today, we're going to be kicking things off with a high-level introduction to the Copilot Control System, which is designed to help IT teams and admins and business leaders secure data, manage Copilot and agent experiences, and make sure we're measuring adoption and impact. This session that we're about to jump into is going to also walk you through the 2-day agenda, highlighting key themes we're going to be discussing and ensuring that we're starting out on the right foot and setting the stage for what's ahead as we dive deep into the future of Copilot Control. And with that, I'm extremely excited to bring on Ben Summers, a security and governance product marketing leader who brings strategic insight into how Copilot and Microsoft are enabling secure, scalable AI adoption across the enterprise. Over to you, Ben.
Hey, thanks, F.A., and good morning, everybody. I am happy to be joining you guys from Redmond. As you can see, I have my summer intern in the office behind me. That is actually, in fact, a real 8-foot-tall Clippy behind me, and I couldn't resist having it in the background for this particular conversation. Let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Ben Summers. I am a director on the technical product marketing team here for the Copilot Control System. And I've been with Microsoft for about 15 years. I've done a little bit of everything. And so I'm super excited that I get to talk to you guys this morning in what I guess is sort of a more fun, casual format, as opposed to at a big trade show or an event about the Copilot Control System. Let's jump into things here and start moving slides forward. One of the things that we know, right, as we are all sort of rushing to adopt AI, is that customers want control. We've positioned, Copilot, and a lot of companies are talking about these things. Like Copilot is the UI for AI, and we know that chief information officers and IT professionals who are at the epicenter of AI transformation are faced with sort of a huge number and a hugely complex environment in which AI tools and agents are simply exploding. And so there's this really critical need now for robust, coherent, enterprise-grade controls. And customers have made it very clear that this is what they want. In fact, they have very specific requirements. A recent Gartner survey really sort of laid that bare. If you look at the number that I'm showing on screen right now, it says that, Gartner's telling us that 7 out of 10 respondents to their surveys are citing security and governance concerns amongst their biggest challenges. What's more, right, it goes beyond that. An almost identical number of survey respondents are indicating that uncontrolled costs and agent sprawl are top of mind. But let's take a look at one more number as well. Because if that weren't enough, only about 1 in 7 customers believe right now that they have the right governance structures in place to manage this sort of like rapidly approaching agentic future that we've been hearing so much about. And at Microsoft, like, we really do recognize these concerns. It is our goal to empower every IT professional to lead this AI transformation at scale with the confidence and the controls that you need to drive adoption and acceleration, and make sure that you get the business value that you need out of Copilot and agents. Now, customers have typically, for decades, right, have trusted Microsoft with sensitive data because of the foundation of trust that we've built through the commitments that we make to protect the data that you store in our systems. And the same commitments and controls that apply to Microsoft 365 apply to prompts and responses in Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. And that's a really important thing to remember because these commitments are pretty deep. We're securing your data at rest and in transit. So we're helping protect your data with encryption, physical security controls, and data isolation between tenants, right? We give you control over your data, which we're going to go into a whole lot more with the Copilot Control System, right? But the approach that we've taken to data privacy really is grounded in this commitment to give you control over the data that you put in our cloud. In other words, you control the data. And Microsoft guarantees this, not just with the controls we give you, but with the contractual commitments that we make to you. And that's a really important point. And then finally, well, actually not finally, your data is not used. And we say this again and again, and we just want to make sure that you guys understand this. Your data is not used to train or enrich our foundation models. We get those models from OpenAI. They come to us. They are isolated in our Azure OpenAI service. Prompts, responses, and web search queries in Copilot are not used to train foundation models. And then finally, we protect you against AI security and copyright risks. We help you safeguard against all these AI-focused risks that you hear about, like harmful content and prompt injection attacks. And for copyright concerns, we provide protected material detection and our customer copyright commitment. And these are really, really important things for you guys to understand. The examples of our commitments go far beyond that, right? We talk about a commitment to privacy, right, as illustrated by our commitments to GDPR, to the EU data boundaries, and to compliance with the EU AI Act. And we also have achieved, ISO 42001 certification. And our solutions are, of course, compliant with HIPAA and a lot of other regulatory frameworks, not just in the United States, but globally around the world. We also, of course, operate a number of controls to protect customer data. For example, when it comes to security, we help protect your data with encryption, rigorous physical controls, and I think, as I've already said, like data isolation between tenants. So there are a lot of other examples of this, but in order to do this, like a huge part of the control system is something that we ourselves manage. But it's not, right, just about what we do, right? There is also this sense that it's incredibly important to make sure that we give you guys the tools that you need to manage Copilot and agents in a way that's best for you and aligned to your company's needs. And so that really brings us to this concept of the Copilot Control System. We call this set of tools that we've built the Copilot Control System, or what you might hear us call it sort of casually throughout the next 2 days, is CCS. But CCS is this system of integrated controls and capabilities for Copilot and agents. It's really designed to help IT administrators and security professionals effectively secure and manage and analyze the use of Microsoft 365 Copilot, Copilot Chat, and Microsoft Copilot Studio across agents in any organization. It's really comprised of 3 main pillars. And these pillars are going to be the focus of what we talk about for the next 2 days here. First, we have the security and governance pillar. Your data is secure within the Microsoft security trust boundary, ensuring like compliance and protection at every level. And we just talked about that. But we provide you guys with the sort of the foundational and optimized tools that you'll need. SharePoint Advanced Management, Microsoft Purview, that will assist organizations of every size and shape in meeting their data and AI security requirements and address the compliance and privacy issues that might be required by regulators or by other government entities that you have to deal with on a daily basis or a yearly basis. And that is incredibly important. The second pillar is really about management controls, right? We offer increasingly rich management controls in surfaces like the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, the Power Platform Admin Center, because we know that all this technology is empowering people to create all kinds of things at work. And you need to understand how to control licensing, costs, metering, and then sort of complex agent management lifecycle scenarios, all to make sure that you can control costs and sprawl within your company. And you can probably hear me as I go through this, invoking, I think, a lot of the concerns that we're hearing our analysts tell us about as well. So we offer controls that help you ensure that the right people have access to the right tools and are using them as intended within your organization. And then finally, there's this concept of measurement and reporting. And this is really important because you can't really run an organization without sort of data-driven decision making. It's essential. And so it's really, really important to understand quantitatively how your organization is working with Copilot and with agents. Of course, you want to track usage and adoption, but there's more than that, right? You want to be able to understand costs. You need to understand how transformation is taking place within the productivity aspects of your environment, and making sure that you're getting a real return on investment with the tools that you've invested in as a business, which is a non-trivial thing, right? It's a big deal to invest in all these AI tools. Understanding that return on investment is something that absolutely has to happen. Okay, so today, these controls that you're looking at, they span multiple products, they span multiple experiences. You'll find parts of the Copilot Control System in places like the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. You'll find it in the Power Platform Admin Center. You'll find elements of it within Viva and elements, of course, within Purview. And so that is something that that we're working on. It's unlikely in the short term that you're going to see, quote unquote, a single pane of glass for CCS, but you will see us continue to constantly introduce new controls and rationalize the configuration of old ones. For example, we're working on standardizing the information architecture of Copilot and agent management across Microsoft 365 Admin Center and the Power Platform Admin Center portals. And we're carefully examining a lot of the other journeys out there, like the billing journeys and lifecycle management journeys, to make sure that they're consistent and that they're complete and that there are no gaps and, let's say, awkward exchanges between different places in the administration of our tools, that you need to do everything that you want to do as quickly and as conveniently as possible. Okay, so that's where we're going, and that's sort of our grounding high-level talk, as FA mentioned earlier. Let's talk now a little bit about what's coming up this morning and also tomorrow morning. So remember that slide from Gartner, the stat that said that 71% of respondents cited security and governance concerns amongst their biggest challenges? We are going to start there. In fact, we're going to spend the whole morning this morning talking about it. We've got a fantastic lineup of expert speakers. I mean, even by Microsoft standards, these are colleagues of mine that I've worked with for, in many cases, years. We're going to start with Sophie and Dave, who will talk about practical steps for oversharing. This is about both SharePoint Advanced Management and about Purview. And then Erica and Jeremy Chapman are going to talk a little bit about data loss prevention and insider risk, things that are really, really top of mind for people. Alex and Sahel are going to talk about web search controls, and that is a topic that every security and IT administrator should really understand with a lot of clarity. And there are probably no better people at Microsoft to talk to you about this topic than these two guys. So these really are, we're bringing out the experts that you guys need to talk to and to interact with and to listen to make great decisions about how you should be deploying Copilot in your organization. And then finally, we talk a lot about security. We talk a lot about agents. We're going to end the morning with Mick talking about building secure agents. And even if you're building your own, even if you're not building agents, right, you should be really clear about and have a really great understanding about what makers in your organization should be doing to create secure agents. All of this is stuff that you really should invest your time in watching. So let's talk about what we're going to do as well tomorrow. We're going to move first, right, to the management pillar, right? So we're going to shift focus, and we're going to take a look first at this idea that you probably remember it, right? This statistic that said that 70% of survey respondents were not comfortable with the controls for costs and agent lifecycle management that they have. Well, day 2 is going to dive into that. So we hope that if you got a lot out of today, you're also coming back tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow you're going to start with James and Ganesh, right? They're going to talk to us about agent management controls in Mac. And then Asaf is going to join us for talking about agent builder controls in PBAC, right? So we want to make sure that tomorrow you get both sides of, here's how you control agent usage and here's how you control agent creation. And these are two sort of incredibly important ideas that should help you really fully manage the way that agents are used by and created by people in your organization. So tomorrow morning is really going to be, a great opportunity to interact with us and to work with our experts on that. All right, and then we're going to close out the morning tomorrow talking about the third pillar, measurement and reporting. Again, comes back to this idea that, you remember that final statistic, right? The one where only 14% of survey respondents felt comfortable with governance structures. Well, Mike and Samer, my colleagues, are going to start by looking at measurement and usage analytics to help you quantify the impact that AI is having on your organization. And then we're going to close strong with Caruana Gatimu, who many of you might actually already know. And Caruana is going to spend some time with us talking about how your organization can drive the collaboration with an adoption of AI tools. So it's an action-packed schedule, right? We want to make sure that you are learning from us, but also engaging with us. I think one of the best things about stuff like this that we do is that it's an opportunity for us to have two-way conversations with customers, with users, with people that are actually taking the things that we build and putting them into practice. So we've got a bunch of ways for you to do that, right? We want you to visit the session pages. We want to make sure that you're posting questions and that you're getting answers from the subject matter experts, not just the guys on screen, but we have subject matter experts standing by ready to answer questions. We want to make sure that you're either participating in the event live or watching these as a follow-up. And if you are following up with us, the conversation will continue to percolate on in the Microsoft tech community. So we have both live tech community interactions, and you can continue to interact with us after the event is over. So please do, make this an interactive, engaging event. It's an opportunity for you to talk with all kinds of experts about all kinds of stuff. All right. On that note, I think I want to make sure and leave this on screen that everybody sees the full event schedule in one place. I'm going to invite you guys to take a look at this, pick the sessions that you want to understand particularly and attend specifically. I also want to make sure that if you can't join us, that you follow up on these things. So this is a great time to grab a screenshot or to actually mark down the sessions you want to attend. And I guess at this point, I would tell you that now I'm going to leave this on screen. We're going to pause for a few minutes so that everybody can take a break and go get ready for, the beginning of the actual formal event. So thank you so much for joining us. Please do feel free to go grab your coffee, take a quick break, grab a bite to eat, come back, join us at 1:30. And we really look forward to having an engaging, learning-filled morning, both today and tomorrow with you. So on that note, I don't know whether FA wants to pick this back up again. Otherwise, let's just pause it here. Let's leave this on screen, and please join us as we start sessions at 8:30. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, and enjoy the show.